Welcome back to the channel. Life for most of us should be pretty good. We have all heard what life is supposed to offer: endless opportunities, fulfillment of our dream, and a chance to live each day in a way that brings happiness and success. Most of us want and need at least a successful job or career, a good family life, and reasonable financial security. We expect that from life. We know deep inside that we deserve our fair share and we have every right to attain it. Why are some people day to day happier, more productive, more fulfilled than others? What makes the difference? Is it Kismat, a kind of fate which in some mysterious way charts our destiny and leaves little of the steering of our course through life up to us? Is the control of our life in our hand or isn't it? And if we can or should control our life, what goes wrong? What holds us back? If we truly would like to do better, be the way really would like to be, and be happier and more productive and successful every day in every area of living. What is the wall that stands in our way? Imagine living a life which did not give in to the barriers and the battlement, the hassles and the hurdles of everyday living. Imagine a life filled with the vitality of achievement and the enrichment of daily self-fulfillment. To me, for a long time, the kind of life sounded like an impractical dream. A cardboard box filled up with daydreams and wishes. To live a life of hope, promise, expectation, and achievement was to live the life of someone who lived only in the pages of a book. When I was quite young, I had a soaring imagination. Long before I learned what we could not do. I dreamed of doing what I knew we could. I remember as a young boy living on my back in the cool, wet grass late at night, my mind sinking into the depths of the crystal clear stars that blanketed the summer sky above me. I could reach out and touch those stars. I could imagine any dream and see it come true. It was only later that my dreams gave way to more practical considerations. Star filled, star filled heaven, dew soaked grass, and princely dreams of imaginary kingdom bowed to more rational requirement. As I began to pursue my education in earnest, I began to learn what we could not. In time, I became more intent on studying the laws and the limits of man than on learning the far-reaching extremities of mankind's potential. I learned all of the shoulds, musts, and cannots. I was told that it was bad to have your head in the clouds and it was good to have your feet on the ground. So I extracted my head from the magical excitement of the universe and got down to business learning about the more practical matters of survival and acceptance. From time to time, I had the nagging suspicion that there was more to all of this than was meeting the eye. I just couldn't see it yet. It was years before I decided it was time to stop and look at the stars again. But I did. The results of that one small decision changed my direction and my life. By the time I stopped and I sank once again upwards into the stars, I had completed a 20 years odyssey which took me from the back roads of a farmland village to the towering office in city, from a quiet countryside of wheat field to the negotiating tables of three peace-suited attorneys and well-groomed marketers. My odyssey took me to snow-covered Midwestern college campuses and to palm-lined streets of Western University. Somewhere during that time, I began to wonder and dream again, as I had as a young boy years before. What if we could? I wondered, what if we could find what is stopping us and turn it around? What if there is an answer and no one else has looked in the right place? What if any of us at any time could reach up and touch the stars? I began the first part of my search by studying human behavior. That is something you can get a degree in without really figuring it out. That is also something that older people seem to know more about than younger people. No matter how many educational degrees my professors could profess, I suspected that some of the older, wiser people I knew had figured out what human behavior was all about. I next studied motivational marketing that teaches us what makes people do what they do even when they don't want to do it. When I completed my course work, it was my final opinion that you can never really get any more. You can never really get anyone to do anything they don't want to do unless you force. I decided that in most of the free world, force is called advertising. In time, I found myself walking the hallways of academic psychology. It is a good field and it deserves our respect. A lot of people have lived richer life because someone who cared took the time to listen. Eventually, I embarked upon a journey of my own. Nowhere in my studies of mathematics, business, religion, or psychology yet had I found a concrete solution to the question of how the average individual could touch all the stars in his heaven, still keep both feet on solid ground. I knew there had to be a better way, something that was obvious, perhaps something that might have been overlooked. I believed that mastering one's future must surely start with managing one's self. And if we could accomplish that, we could manage and master at least a part of what we call life. As I continued to study the inner working of the human mind, I began to look for the answers, the solutions, which others most certainly must already have found. I found dozens of answers, but I discovered only one solution. Thank you for watching. Let's see in the next.